All right.
Hey, Ken.
Chris?
I know it was just one game the other night when you didn't have Donovan, but just describe the impact that you feel when you have him versus
I mean, it's 8 for 15 from 3, and I mean, it's more than, it's the defense too. Having another guy, that's a plus defender out there, so it's he's two-way, first team All NBA. It just makes everyone else better. Then the intangible is his leadership out there. He found a little set there at the end of the game. I didn't call that. He found us little something we were doing to get the the right matchup, and so it's multifaceted, his impact on this team.
And you spoke before the season about the confidence that you had in Jaylen Tyson going into a bigger role, and you've talked about him in the first couple of games. But what specific area of his growth has impressed you the most? Like, what version of Jaylen Tyson has impressed you?
I mean, the defense and the defense and the rebounding. That was his goal, and his ability to pick up full court and be that role player that pressures all the time. And he had some fouls tonight, but we'll live with that. And I told him, you do that and you become a 40% three-point shooter, you're going to be a $20 million a year player. That's how it works in this league. So if you can defend your position at a high level, rebound, and then you're making threes like he made threes tonight. I love he's not hesitating. I think his shot has improved. He gets it off a lot quicker than he did when he first came with us. So he just catches it. And I love that pass from Lonzo to him. Lonzo trusting him in the left corner there. That was a big play. So, man, you're. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but you're thinking. Like I said, I have to think big picture. I'm like, man, are we seeing a rotational player before our eyes? Even when we're healthy. So that would be a huge win when you can get a guy on a rookie scale contract and be a rotation player. That's the goal here, and he seems like he's growing his confidence. Right, each game a little more like he belongs.
You guys had 75% of your makes were assisted tonight, which I believe is the highest percentage it's been so far this year. What did you think led to that better ball movement for you guys?
Man, we're where we've slipped a little, like we're really emphasizing just swinging the ball side to side, like that swing pass. I know it seems like a simple thing, but when we get in trouble is when we start holding it and just waiting for the pick and roll all the time, and just be able to swing the ball, swing it and swing it again. Then we get in the closeout. I think we drove it the most we have all year, and then we're in the most closeouts. I think they, our analytics guys told us that. So I wish we get to the rim more. It's tough with Porzingis. You'd like a little more balance between the threes and the rim, but sometimes the game gives you the answer. With Porzingis in there, we had to get him up there tonight.
What went into the decision to put Larry in the starting lineup?
Yeah, just a feel. I felt like where we could hurt them is on the boards, offensive boards, and that he gives us, obviously. And I liked him on the Porzingis matchup. He knows him well. And I liked that we got off to a really good start. Listen, Larry, we're playing him a lot at the 4. Ideal position for him is probably the 5. But I think he's doing a good job. He's spacing the court for us. Listen, he's not making shots, but everything else we ask, he's doing at a high level.
Mark, I know the game dictates a lot of this, but is there a number of threes that are too many threes in your opinion?
Yes, we might have passed it tonight. I do think there is a number. I can't just throw it. But the game, I think when I watch the film, there's going to be. I felt there were some we could have. Sometimes you just got to show it and then go by and get to the rim. I think we're. I think we got to look at that. I think last couple games we've been firing them up there, but I think there's more chances to get to the rim.
You mentioned at the end of the game, Don calling something out. Was that the dribble handoff sequence you had with Evan, the play you're referring to?
No, it was that double drag we're doing, trying to get their weakest defender in the action. So we probably milked it a little too much, quite honestly. Probably should have worked 3 or 4 times, and then I think 5 and 6 it didn't. I think Zoe had that turnover. So listen, me and Don are always having that back and forth during the game, like what we're running. But he reads the game so well. Trust him. Yep.
Joe?
Again.
Joe?
Hey, it seems, going all the way back to the first night in New York, it seems like there has been a little bit of evolution of what you were trying to get from Evan in terms of an offense initiator and running it through him to what I saw tonight. So I'm curious if there has been and maybe how your thinking has changed as far as what you think he can do with the ball.
Yeah, I mean, we've definitely had some conversations. There was some obviously his usage was way up, touches are way up, and all that, which was intentional. But sometimes with that you have to pull it back a little in terms of leaning a little bit more back into his strength, so he gets a little bit more of a balance. And his strength on the offensive end is mobility, right? His ability to create separation by movement, moving around, whether it's in the pick and roll or DHOs where he's moving and just draw. I think he's at 10 ISOs a game. Can we get that down to 7? And maybe play a little more chase pick and roll or pick and pop. His strength is variety and skill, and my thing to him, it'll that'll come out if you keep trusting the offense. But on the other hand, it's like we need you to be more aggressive because we don't have DG, we don't have Sam, we don't have Max. So it's just finding that balance, and kind of where we are in the season and what the roster looks like. So some of it's a little bit, some of it's on him, some of it is roster, and some of it is on me, quite honestly. But I think we're starting to find the right groove for him.
Spence?
You had 5 guys with over 4 boards tonight. Just on the gang rebounding aspect, is that what you're looking for as far as attacking the glass?
You could argue that was a difference maker. Our offense wasn't great. We didn't shoot it great, and we just attacked the offensive boards like especially in the second half. Lonzo, we were just, CP had a couple, and we knew that was one of their weaknesses. I think they were 29th in defensive rebounding coming into the game, so we really emphasized it in our scout and our pregame, and kept telling them during the game, keep going to the boards on these guys.
Sounds like a broken record, but it seems like every time CP steps in the game, he's a game changer.
Yeah.
And whether it's with a chase down block or with a some like an offensive board, like there's just a momentum shifting type of play from Craig. Just continuing to do it consistently, I think, is something that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, and that's what you want from your bench guys. When you're playing 12 minutes, 14 minutes, it's that spark that you need. And like you say, he's a sneaky athlete. Like, he's quick off the ground. He's strong as heck. So, yeah, his next step is being consistent with those minutes. But so far so good. I think he's playing really well off the bench.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach.
Hey.
When you guys got up early to that 14-point lead, and then you kind of it squanders a little bit there, it could be a recipe for a spiral. Who do you think, whether that's energetically or calling shots, maybe someone we're not noticing, gets that rhythm back into alignment?
Yeah, I mean, it's always our leaders. It's usually Don or Evan that kind of self-correct us in the huddle and talking, and some once in a while it'll be me. I thought TB. I thought Thomas Bryant. He gives us like a little, he's a little. How should I say? extremely energetic and in a great way, and he's always clapping and talking and I mean, I just love his energy. So he's the guy, you know, even if he's not in the game, his energy is like insane. You know, he's at 10 out of 10, kind of every moment. It's and the guys love it. And even the 5 minutes he gave us tonight, I thought really good, great energy.
I know we're only a handful of games in, but how important was it to win tonight, not let it skip?
Yeah, I thought that, like, during the game. I said, man, we, you know, especially against a good team, you know, I felt like this was, you know, one we needed to get. It's not a must-win situation this early in the season, but it was kind of like we needed this one for our confidence, especially after the Toronto loss, where we felt like, you know, we had chances to win that. But yeah, I felt that.
Jeff, I guess it's kind of a follow-up to that, Kenny. You guys were 6 of 24 shooting in the second quarter. So what changed for you guys to eventually gain control here?
I think the rebounding was key. I think there was a difference in the game. You know, if we're going to miss, we might as well go and get it on the old boards, and that's kind of what we did. And like I said, that was attacking their weakness. You know, and you know, it's across the board, right? It's not just our big. We got guards crashing, and it's kind of what we do. I'm really happy to see that our offensive rebounding is starting to take off. I think we kind of struggled early with our energy to the boards, but we're doing a better job now.
Jason?
You may have answered this, but your reaction to the threes when you first sat down tonight, was that just a sheer?
Yeah, I couldn't. How many did we take in the first quarter? I think it was something crazy, right? I don't know. 16. So that was a good start. I was like, we took 16 threes, but, you know, I like, you know, like Mike said, I think we have to find that balance. I don't think we're a 63s a game team. You know, I want to see the ball more at the rim. I want to see us get to the free throw line. So we got to keep finding ways to pierce that paint more, and we're struggling a little now. Probably a little too perimeter oriented.
You've probably gotten some variation of this 100 different times, so I apologize. But
Yeah.
the start you guys got off to last year was a little bit unexpected, and it just felt like it was full throttle from the starting line all the way to the end because of the start. With the injuries that you've had and a couple losses early, how has that changed for you just in terms of how you approach the start to the season, the regular season, compared to how last year went?
Yeah. I think kind of the way I've looked at it, like, you know, even if we lost it, like there's no panic, right? Like we kind of, when we're healthy, we know the team we have. So the key, I think, you know, to kind of dealing with this kind of slower start is to stay kind of even keeled and not overreact. And you can do that, right? You know, we got this, you know, great expectations. Oh man, you're starting off, you know, 500 and this, so it was important. You know, the coach's demeanor with the players, that we're not panicking. We're doing a lot of good things, but you know, this isn't last year's team, and this is, you know, in the NBA, this is a different season. We don't all of a sudden the Bulls are, oh my God, are they going to be really good, right? Like this Atlanta team could be really good. All of a sudden, you know, there's going to be a team or two that jumps. You've seen it, so we just gotta. We got to keep focus on like the big picture and not. And I'm actually not, you know, I'm not upset. Like we're not, you know, 9-0 or whatever. You know, I'm not. It doesn't. You know, we're kind of out of that game. We're about big picture. We want to be. We want to be a team that improves during the year and is ready when the playoffs come.
Last one, Scott.
Kenny, just how important was it for Lonzo, not necessarily his best shooting night, and a couple uncharacteristic turnovers, for him to contribute the way he did, end up +6 for the game,
Yeah.
and then also give you some big sort of stops on the glass?
Yeah, he has some big rebounds. I mean, that's one of the things we're pushing him to do, especially with our struggles rebounding the ball. He's 6'6.5", always been a good rebounder for a guard. I think he's still finding his footing, right? Like, you can still see the miscommunications, and but this was a game where I felt like he really felt a part of this win, and winning in kind of clutch time, and being him and Don were kind of handling the ball. So I hope it gives him a bit of a confidence boost, and gets him a little more comfortable with what we're doing. I mean, I love the guy, I love his game. It's going to keep getting better, but right now it's, he starts last game. Now he's coming off the bench. He's playing with Jaylen. We're kind of a little bit all over the place. I don't think that's helping him with the adjustment. I thought this is the first game where he can really say, man, I was really a part of this kind of clutch win.
And then start of the fourth quarter, you had Don and Evan out there with the three young guys, Craig, Jaylen, and Tyrese. Just what kind of inspired that lineup for you, and is what you kind of see from that?
With our main guys, we got to keep the minutes down. Zoe is obviously on a minute situation, so we got to watch him. And I believe in playing 10. And Tyrese had some rough moments there in the first half, but I thought in the second half he was much better. If this is game 75 and you're trying to get a seat, maybe it's different, but right now those guys need to play. So helps having some vets out there with them. But really pleased. Tyrese, I felt like he got better as I was about to take him out or sub him, and then I said screw it, leave him out there, and he actually, man, he had that layup in transition, and you're always making those decisions during the game. Man, the young guy, we want to win this game, we want to get him reps, and you're kind of going through that back and forth with yourself. But I'm glad we stuck with him.
Okay, it's gonna wrap.
All right, thanks everybody.
Bringing Don and Jaylen